for our 5.4 worksheet. If you can do this on your own, great, do it. If you need some help, be sure to watch this video. I'm not going to be doing the multiplying and dividing with you, but I will help you set up the problems. I'm going to set them up two different ways. You can choose which way works best for you. So I'm going to set them up with the proportions, where we multiply, cross multiply, and divide. And I'm also going to set them up where we find the unit and then apply the unit with the chart. So you can do whichever one works best for you. So you got to do the math. I will help you set them up. So it tells us that Dean washed 3 cars. He earns $20. So I love to underline the 2 pieces of information I need. How much money, so we're looking for the money, will he make after 60 cars? So if we have, so I'm going to label, so we have cars and we have money. So we start with 3 cars is $20. And I want to know the money. I'm looking for the money on the bottom after 60 cars. So cars is all lined up, money's lined up. So this one, right, I'm going to multiply here and then divide by 3 will give me this missing piece. We can also set it up with a chart here. So we have cars and money. So we washed 3 cars and made $20. So I want to know how much I'm making in for 1 car. Find that here. Then I can use that to get to the 60. You can also go straight from 3 to 60 because 3 is a factor of 60. So we can set it up any of those ways. Hey, our next one tells us that Nina found 4 seashells in 6 minutes. If she continues at that same rate, how long will it take her to find 18 seashells? So we're looking for the time. So we have seashells and we have minutes. She did 4 seashells in 6 minutes. And now we want to know how many minutes it's going to take to find 18 seashells. So this tells me to multiply here and divide. We can also set it up as a chart. We can say we have 4 seashells in 6 minutes. So I want to know how long it's going to take to find 1 seashell first. So I can see we divide by 4. Divide by 4, it's going to give me a decimal number because I can't divide 6 by 4 perfectly. Then I can say apply that to 18 and apply that here. This one I can't go straight from 4. Well, you can go straight from 4 to 18, but it's not a nice factor. You'll have to figure out how many times 4 goes into 18. So you can do it this way, but I just love this way because it just tells me multiply these, divide by that. Every time, I don't have to think about it. Hey, next up we have Tara spent $9.35 on 5 bags of cookies. We have bags. 3 of the bags were for her friend though. So how much does her friend owe her? So because she doesn't owe the whole total because they're not all for her. So we have money and we have bags of cookies. So she spent $9.35 on 5 bags. Now I want to know how much 3 bags is going to cost though. So my bags is on the bottom this time. So I put that there. I could put bags on the top. I would just have to make sure the 5 and the 3 go on the top. So it doesn't matter where you put them as long as they match their label. So this time I'm cross multiplying this way because I don't have anything here to multiply 5 by. So I'm multiplying here and dividing by 5 to see how much those cookies were worth. We can also set it up with our chart. So we have money and bags. So $9.35 for 5 bags. So we need to find out how much is 1 bag. So to get from 5 to 1, I divide by 5. Divide by 5, that will tell me 1 bag. But I now want to know 3, so now I times by 3, times by 3. So there's not a really nice way to get from 5 to 3 or 3 to 5. So we do want to apply it to the 1, or we can just skip that and go straight here, whichever way works for you. Okay, this one says Penny made $91 in 7 hours at Kent's as a cashier. How much money, so we're looking for the money, will she make in 13 hours? So we're setting it up. We have money and we have hours. So she made $91 in 7 hours. I want to know how much she's going to make in 13 hours. My hours are on the bottom, so it goes on the bottom here. 91 times 13 divided by 7 gives me that missing piece here. We can also use our chart. So we have money and hours. And so my money was 91. My hours was 7. There's not a great way to get from 7 to 13. So first we want to find how much she makes in 1 hour, dividing by 7. Then we want to take that and apply it to 13 hours. So times by 13, take this number, times by 13. So either way you're doing it, you're getting the same answer. Hey, next up we have that Jordan drives 210 kilometers in 3.5 hours. How far can he go in 8 hours? Now, I like to work with decimals more, so I'm actually going to change this to 3.5, 3.5, 50 cents is half of a dollar. So we have kilometers and we have hours. So he drives 210 kilometers and that takes 3.5 hours. And now we want to know how far he can go in 8 hours. My hours is on the bottom, so I put that here. So we're going to multiply and divide. If you're choosing to do it this way, right, we're going to have to move that decimal, move the decimal to match it up. We can also set up our chart, kilometers and hours. So we have 210 kilometers for 3.5 hours. We want to know 8. There's not a great way to get from 3 to 8. So we want to go to the 1 first. So we're going to divide by 3.5, divide by 3.5. Got to move the decimal, move the decimal. So, right, if we have 210 divided by 3.5, move the decimal. The decimal's at the end, so I'm adding a 0. Or if you did this one here, add a 0 at the end. Then to get from 1 to 8, I times by 8, times by 8. Either way should get you the same answer. Hey, now we have Julia paid $70.20 for someone to work in her yard for 6.5 hours. Again, oh, sorry, I got a little sneeze. I gotta change this, oh man, to 6.5, sorry. How much will she owe them after they work for 80 hours? Ooh, that's a lot of yard work. Okay, so we have money and we have hours. So we have $70.20 and we are dividing, and that's for 6.5 hours. Now I want to know how long she'll do 80, or how much is 80 hours. So $70.20 times 80, divide by, so we're right, cross multiplying, divide by 6.5. Move your decimal, move your decimal. We can also set up the chart here. So we have $70.20, and that's for 6.5 hours. I want to know how much they're getting paid for 1 hour. So divide by 6.5, divide by 6.5. So we're moving that decimal back one place. So it's here now. So we're really dividing by 65. Then I want to find 80 hours, 1 to 80. This number times by 80 as well. Okay, and our last one, Carolina could buy 6 light bulbs for $18.24. I forgot my dollar sign. Or 4 light bulbs for $12.32. Prove which one is the better deal. So over here, we're going to do our 6 light bulbs. So we have light bulbs and money. So I can buy 6 light bulbs for $18.24. I want to know how much 1 light bulb is. So I can either, right? We're going to do the same thing either way. So watch, if I'm trying to find the 1, to get from 6 to 1, we divide by 6, we divide by 6. Or I can cross multiply 1 times 1824 is 1824. Divide by 6. Either way, you are doing $18.24 and you are dividing it by 6. Either way, you're doing the same thing to find out how much is 1. So then we also have 4 light bulbs for $12.32, and I want to know how much is 1. So same thing, we can either multiply here and divide by 4, or say, how do I get from 4 to 1? I divide by 4, I divide by 4. We're doing the same problem. So we want the better deal. That means we want the cheaper one. So just because it's $12 doesn't mean it's a better deal. That just means you're paying less up front, but you might be paying more for each light bulb. So see which one has a better deal for 1 light bulb. So if you need help doing the math, I'm so happy to help you, but you need to make sure you have it set up one of these ways. Do you want to find the unit and apply it, or do you want to set it up as a proportion and find it that way?